everyone, I thought I would just switch on the camera and chat with you and paint, and I'll tell you what I have already done. I have cleaned my mixing area. I sprayed my palette with a lot of water. You want a juicy palette, it will make your life easier, it will make your brushes suffer less. I painted this the last time and I feel like I really want to explore this color story, like a very, summery, fun, bright color story. But I am not so excited about kind of this composition, which is similar to what I've been doing lately. So I grabbed myself a nice big sheet of paper. This is Canson Montval 300 GSM, and this is a really, really great paper. I mean, I sometimes just enjoy painting on it, but especially if I want to develop more ideas and I don't want to compromise the paper, but I also don't want to use like the papers that I really, really love, then the Canson Montval is kind of my go-to. And this is a nice larger size. So I was talking to my mom, and this is what I'm looking for. And behind her in her living room, she has a big canvas print of one of my pieces. And I really like that composition. So it's kind of, it's very much inspired by Jean Haynes and her roses. So it's just like a row of 5 blooms. And I really liked it. I kept seeing it behind her, and now I'm kind of feeling like it would give me a good opportunity to explore the colors in a composition that I know I like and enjoy. So I'm gonna start as usual with my Neocolor one, and I have something that has been bothering me. First of all, I want to talk about some misconceptions about watercolor paints that I feel a lot of people have, including myself, or had them kind of earlier in my watercolor journey. So I want to talk about that. But something that has been bothering me is that I have been very happily using oil pastels on my watercolor paintings, on watercolor paper. And someone told me, and I have no reason to really doubt it, that oil paint kind of eats your paper at some point, or it's just like not a good idea to use oil paint with paper. And I'm thinking if the same goes to oil pastels, if there's a good reason not to use them on paper. Even though they're kind of a top layer, but underneath it's just watercolors. It's not something like acrylic that is any kind of barrier. So I don't know. I really don't know. I have to kind of check this, I guess. So 5 flowers. What usually happens to me is that I start from this side making my flowers, and then till I reach here, I don't have enough space for them. So I'm going to try and see if I do feel like I could use a bit, like even a larger canvas, but I'll try. So I want 5 florals, but I don't want them to be like too squished, too symmetrical. So just like trying to fit everything in here. See how that works for me. Which colors did I use with the Neocolor? I used, I think, the ochre. I hear a cat meowing. I kind of like it. I think I like it. Maybe I should try this one. This is salmon, I want to say. You look like salmon. Yeah, maybe let's try this. So just trying to kind of put general idea of my florals. And okay, so let's talk about watercolor misconceptions. So one thing that I'm kind of I feel like I'm answering all kinds of questions that I get, but I don't want you to think that, you know, any of it is, it's never like a stupid question. It's a lot of things that I thought about myself, and some of them have absolutely a base in certain things, but then you'll see what I mean when I get into it. So, for example, one of the things that some people think is, I probably should have made the flowers a bit higher because I like to have more space for like line work and stuff, is that the more transparent a watercolor is, the higher the quality. And this is not accurate. So I want to say where I think this comes from. And I think that comes from very low grade student or craft paints that are very chalky. They're full of filler and they don't have a lot of pigments in them. And so the paint is like very opaque, very chalky, but it's low quality. When it comes to high quality paints, I don't want to get too dark. When it gets to high quality paints, once you start going into like artist grade, almost all of the brands that I have tried have a solid formulation of paint. So I really can't say that there is one artist grade range that I've tried and I thought, you know, this is, you know, I wouldn't call this artist grade. The only one that I was like never super excited about is the Winsor & Newton one, which many people love and use, and their Cobalt Violet is the best. But just the paint itself, for me, it felt always just a tad too dry, and I don't know, the color range is kind of uninspiring, but they're all good, like all the ones that I've tried. Daniel Smith, Schmincke, of course, M. Graham, Sennelier, Rembrandt, Lukas, like all these brands are really good. When it comes to transparency, once you're in the artist grade ranges, it's up to the pigment. So some pigments are transparent and some are not. And a lot of amazing, expensive, beautiful pigments are not transparent. It's just the nature of the pigment. It's not like someone added a filler. It's just the way that it is. Like my beloved cobalts are most of the time semi-opaque, or, you know, a color like Indian red is usually opaque. So I don't want you to think that if you come across a color that is opaque, it means that the watercolor is low quality. So that's one misconception that I hear. And the other one, which I was kind of really focused on for what seems to me like a long time, is flow. And again, I think, like from my personal experience, with the exception of Qor, that have a different, you know, binder, the Aquazol, and they push around almost all of the other paints, flow, again, is more, from my experience, is more of, I'm not super scientific with the way that I test things. I just buy colors I like and paint with them. So this is why I keep saying from my experience, because I never put it to some sort of like serious test of, you know, dropping each paint into a square of water. Those kinds of things make my head hurt, and I would just rather paint and figure things out as I paint. So, you know, take my opinion with a grain of salt. But anyway, flow is, again, a matter of pigment. And some pigments, usually, you know, like the earth tones, like those traditional pigments that are heavier, will kind of stay put, and you will need to work more to get them to flow. And then other pigments, many times it'll be kind of the lighter ones, the ones where the pigment is like really finely milled. Those will have better flow. And you can have one brand with colors that flow beautifully and then other colors that don't. You can increase flow with ox gall, or you can use, well, this is synthetic ox gall. I have the Qor one. So you add this to a paint and it will have more flow. Okay, so I hope that kind of clarifies these things. I think I'm ready. Let's start painting. So this already feels kind of fun, very light. And what I'm drawing inspiration from this. So these are kind of the colors that I want to play with. And I will kind of go to my color story, but I may just tweak it a little bit to get a more of a summary color story. We'll see how that goes. I also I was in town yesterday and I just went in fast, was very proud of myself, to the art store, and I grabbed, they had actually really close to the entrance, the fixative from Sennelier for oil pastels. So I sprayed a couple of layers on my paintings and we'll see how that goes. But thank you to the people who you know, suggested that I use it. It's a great idea. And now my only concern is that maybe I shouldn't use oil pastels at all on my paintings because they are on paper. So I'm not really sure how I can combine my watercolors with oil pastels because I don't want to paint on anything else than watercolor paper. Like, I don't like using watercolors on canvas. I don't like watercolor mediums. They can't replace paper for me. So I'm not sure that works. It's less of a problem if I'm creating things to be, you know, digitally like reproduced, but I would also like to know if the original art is, you know, safe or in danger. Okay, so far I like the colors. I feel like I need more yellow. So I'm going to bring in some Naples yellow, which I haven't used in ages. And I haven't also put it in my color stories in a long time. But I feel like it could be a fun addition to this color story. One of the things that I really suggest paying attention to is, you know, building layers as you go. Splatters is one of the ways that I really love adding detail and interest to my paintings. It's very, very easy. It doesn't require a lot of skill, but many times, you know, people will kind of remember at the end to add a few splatters, and I find that my paintings look a lot more interesting if I add throughout my process, you know, with my different colors and in different intensities. So probably in the first layers it'll be kind of lighter, bigger, watery blobs, but all this builds up, and I find that the end result is a lot more interesting and it looks layered, which is always one of my big struggles or like main themes in painting with watercolor, that push and pull between overworking and making a fresh, light painting that doesn't look overworked. So it's always like, okay, go in with another layer, and I find that just like building the details like this throughout the process really helps. That has been my experience anyway. You know, if you like the look of splatters, which I do. So I like the colors here. not sure how much pink I want to go. Like my bright rose, it has some, you know, it's a very kind of bluish pink. And I'm kind of debating in my head how blue I want to go with this. I'm kind of thinking maybe I actually want to keep it on the warmer side of the color wheel. Kind of not go too blue. Okay, so I feel I have to kind of think about the florals, but then I can play a bit with the background. The other piece, I added some teal, and don't know, I want to clean the white a little bit because it looks really messy, dirty. So I'm kind of trying to see how light I can go and get away with it. What I do want is still interesting. I still want interesting colors. And to me, you know, a lot of the colors are beautiful straight out of the tube, but they're not necessarily so special. So I'm really thinking, let's see what happens. I want to see what happens if I take olive green, maybe a little bit of dusk yellow, just because it has nice granulation. Ooh, 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 ooh. I am getting a very exciting package today, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to sneak peek it. So this color, how do I feel about you? I need a piece of paper to audition it before I stick it to on my painting here. Very exciting package. Okay, this is interesting. Kind of, I like the color. Let's see if I can get away with adding a bit more dusk yellow. I would love to have some interesting granulation. I don't want this to look like, you know, a pastel-y rainbow. That's kind of what I'm concerned about. So just kind of testing the ground to see how I feel about this. I'm not sure which neutrals I would like to introduce here. Now I have a green. I could neutralize it with pink. Try a little bit of opera. See what I get. If I get a disgusting color or a color that I like. I think I'll have to get, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, OMG. It's so exciting. Okay, I can't believe I'm just gonna show you, but I'm just gonna show you because if you're here, then I know you enjoy my videos and I really, really appreciate you. And yeah, so you may be familiar with my stamp set, watercolor workbook, which I will be restocking. I'm really, really sorry about the kind of delay. I've got so many requests for it and I had so much life stuff going on. Anyway, I decided if I'm gonna do a restock, I want to design another set. And it's here. I'm so excited. Ta-da! This is it. So I have to, this is like the sample order, so I have to kind of try it and see. This is called, let's zoom in, I'm so excited. Sketchbook Essentials. And the idea here is to have another set for just like fun sketchbook, you know, reference book, log book, whatever you want to call it, to play around with. There are just some like fun stuff, but also work on color stories, you know, keep check of your watercolor tubes, just have fun, play around. And yeah, so this is just like the artwork that comes, where I also show you how you can color in these stamps. So excited. And then these are the stamps themselves. So I'll do videos for all of it. So right now I'm just going to do like a quick run through. First of all, I made like a 6 quick kind of reference stamp. This is just one stamp. It's based on the original design of the half pan that I have here in the first set. And it's just so you can quickly stamp out like your entire palette or little color stories and just do this like fast. Then we have paint tubes. And so one is kind of squeezed and one looks more full. And like a pencil with this stripy design, a crayon, a pen with a polka dots, a brush. So I want to say these are, I didn't hand draw these. This is artwork that I bought for commercial use, and then I edited it and, you know, made it into the size and the shape and everything that would work for a stamp set. So I just want to make that clear. I think I could sketch these, but you know, I had the opportunity to actually also support another artist that made exactly what I would have imagined much faster than I could, and this was just perfect. So I handpicked like all these images and made them into the set, but I just want to make that clear. I didn't actually draw, beside the half pan, which, you know, let's face it, it's a square. I didn't hand draw these other ones. But yeah, so of course this is all like fully commercial licensed and everything. Nothing here is, you know, there's no copyright violations or anything, believe me. So this is the set. So excited about it. And of course I'll make videos playing with them. I'm really excited to play with them. This is like my sample set. So I only had the idea, not the actual stamps till now. And that's it. Okay, let's see if I can put aside that excitement for a second. Okay, so I have this actually really interesting mixture of a color. What I'm trying to, I have a lot of kind of go-to mixes for neutrals, but they usually involve some sort of like, you know, Moonglow or something like that. And I'm really trying to push myself and use a very warm color palette here and kind of see if I get the effect that I don't know, that I have in my head of this like sun-drenched, really warm color story. So again, I don't know if this will work, but there's really no way of knowing unless you try things. So I'm usually very into cooler kind of shadows and neutrals, more like mauvey neutrals, purpley neutrals, or like semi-neutrals is more accurate. And I really don't like kind of orangey brown ones. However, I'm thinking that I might have to go there. And you know, many times it's just about finding that perfect neutral. But I want to use, I don't know if I have it in this palette. Are you the one that I want? I'm looking for, yeah, I think this is what I want. There's a beautiful Daniel Smith color. It has all the separation. And yeah, I think this could be really interesting. Finally, I've been wanting to use this color. This is, what are you, like a something with a never-ending name, like burnt, scarlet, genuine, something. And I love that color, and I haven't been able to make it work with my color stories, but maybe this will be it. The big challenge here is to make this interesting, because right now, I mean, I really like a lot of things going on, but it's very flat. And it's kind of, yeah, flat. Flat usually means boring. So I need more details here. I'm not sure what is the best way to achieve them. I think I'll take a break, let things kind of marinate a little bit. This is such a fun color to play with because it has that super interesting granulation. I'll show you. Isn't that amazing? So I think this could actually be a very exciting color for this, but yeah. I want to add, let's try, where are you? There you are. So this is the rigger brush from the Zen art set that I was sent. I'm thinking what color would be good. Didn't I say I'm gonna leave it? Yeah, I know, I don't listen to myself. What color can I use to make line work that will add interest, but not too dark? It's a problem. It is a problem. You? Like, really, can I go hot pink? Again, I'm not sure I want to use a lot of bright rose because it's so blue. I feel like that will take me away from what I'm trying to achieve. I don't know if I can achieve what I'm trying to achieve. Maybe quinacridone rose is a better choice, or maybe I should go again. I had such a obsession with Van Gogh's Carmine, and then I kind of neglected it. I'm such a fickle artist. See, I'm not sure. Not sure this is vibing with me. Like the line work because that's fun. What happens if I add this weird color? Ooh, interesting. So obviously, you know, you could do more like studies and try all these things that I'm kind of trying as I paint, but I don't know. I'd rather have a lot of like, you know, messed up experiments, but actually paint and enjoy and feel like I'm working on something more interesting than like some color mixing study. I mean, those are fun also. Sometimes I do that, you know, I try to keep things like logged in my little logbook of swatches, but sometimes I just, you know, I want to paint. I want to do like the real thing, not just prep. That's how I feel. I think I'm starting to mess things up because I'm not really, I don't have a plan. Okay, now I'm stepping aside. Okay, stop. Okay, so some time has passed. This is dry, almost. There's a big splatter here that is still a bit wet. And yeah, again, it's kind of like usually my go-to at this stage, you know, would be to add some darker, cooler colors. But I don't think I want to do that here. What I would like to do is add, for now, because that I kind of feel is a safe or like something I can do, is to maybe just add some details. Not used to this brush. Kind of intensify some of the colors. Now, the colors that I'm using are more on the opaque side. So I also feel like I have to be a bit careful with what I'm doing, not get too heavy, because I'm losing the transparency, I'm losing that effect, which in itself is not necessarily a big no-no. Just not sure I can do what I want to do. So adding more detail is, you know, a good way to make a painting more interesting. But if it's all medium values, and sometimes you end up with a painting that just doesn't work because it has so many medium values, not enough dark values. It ends up looking both flat and overworked, which is kind of my least favorite result. And it's also something that I see a lot of people do, and it's a problem. It's a problem. So I feel like something's gonna have to go. Either I'll have to go darker and kind of, you know, give up my dream of a super light story. I do feel like I could bump up the whole green situation here. I feel that would give me some more life. Sometimes I have a problematic relationship with green. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't exist. But many times I feel it's like salt, you know, like that last sprinkle of salt that just brings everything together. I feel that about green, and many times in my paintings, it's like, oh, just a touch of green does wonders. Again, I'm trying to kind of tweak my colors so they are unique, so that they kind of talk to each other on the painting. The mixes have other colors that are already in my painting. Something's missing here. Something is missing here. I'm not sure. It's probably darker colors that I'm doing my best to avoid. Okay, let's see what I can do with a bit of this. Just like some very, very, how do you say, like really minimal use of dark colors in strategic places that will give me darker values, so it'll give me contrast, maybe more of a feeling of depth, and yeah, that's it. That's kind of it. Such a pretty color. Every time I use now like one of these colors, I'm thinking, oh, Daniel Smith, what have you done? Yeah, but I've seen like other people kind of, you know, everyone has their opinion, and of course you're entitled to it, but kind of the way I feel about it is, for sure, like the colors that I have, I'm going to use them, love them, enjoy them. Paid a lot of money for them, and yeah, I'm gonna make the most of it. And maybe sometimes I do really enjoy mixing colors, but sometimes there's something about using, I know I said I'm not gonna, but just using pure colors, what I'm trying to say, just like the pure, super vibrant color is also a great way. Yeah, I really feel like I'm losing with this very, very bluish pink, that I'm losing that summer look that I'm after, that like really warm atmosphere. So maybe carmine is a better choice because it's so much warmer. I have the Van Gogh Carmine in my palette and I love it. It's super vibrant compared to other carmines, but it's much warmer than Bright Rose. So that kind of serves my, you know, purpose a bit more. And now I feel, putting that, I feel like I need also something similar in the centers. So I'm gonna go with a touch of quinacridone gold. Such a good color for a pop of color. Quinacridone gold is, again, like one of, it's a salt or like a spice that, you know, it's not like the potato of your stew. My corals, my pinks, they're the potatoes. And then the quinacridone gold is the spice. And it's a great splattering color. I love splattering with yellow. Okay, so looking at the screen, and this video is going to come to a close soon. I definitely feel like I don't have that warmth that I have here. And the question is if I want to work on that with watercolors, or if it's actually a good idea to bring in another medium and add something like oil pastels, which I'm now worried will eat my paper. So I'm not sure. I'm just adding a dab of Naples yellow because I like it. But it's starting to get a lot. It's like starting to be a lot. And yeah, some things I feel are not working here, but I have to kind of think about it and see what I think. So think about it and see what I think. Great, great sentence. Something, there's no color story here that gives me the feels. This is what I feel. It's like too colorful. It's not right. It's not exactly right. What is off? I'm not sure. What is missing? I don't know. I'm kind of at the stage where I'm always tempted to add like a touch of teal, a touch of ultramarine blue, a touch of cobalt violet, and I might just do that because right now I feel like it's not what I want it to be. So I might as well go for it and see what happens. Do I really want to, like all the things I said running through my head? Blue. Like what happened? What would happen? Because I can't control myself. Don't think it's making anything better. I think it's just like, why is there blue here? I don't know what you're thinking at home when you're watching this, but I just feel this is the process. And I've painted so many florals. Many of them I love. Many of them were big fails that I'm like, go for it. You know, if you feel something, try it. Worst case, throw the piece of paper away and start fresh. Thinking maybe I should try this, basing my flowers on Naples yellow and cobalt violet. Those two make such weird, wonderful mixtures. Maybe that's something I should explore. So this is how this James Burke says, everything and the kitchen sink, that's where we are. That is where I am. Craving some olive green for some reason that I can't explain myself. Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. Only live once. Can always grab some other piece of paper. So brush makes really nice splatters. I know, it's way too much. I'm okay with it. One of the things that I like to do is once you create a huge mess, you can go and like take pictures of certain areas, and many times you'll find things that you really enjoy. So I might do that. But I had a lot of fun painting. I think I could do more. I could do more. So much more I could do. I think I could add like more line work on the outside. Like there are areas here. They're kind of empty. Okay. Stepping away. This was fun. I hope you painted along. And yeah, definitely not working for me. The colors here. This color story is not working for me. But there are some magical pieces. So I know this video will start with a close-up and I'm going to finish it with a close-up. And now you can have, I think, a better kind of understanding of how all of these little places of watercolor magic came together. And yeah, that's one of the things that I love about painting this way. So thank you for watching. I'll see you soon in another video.